things look fine, she'll get him back.
We can't keep doing this.
Keep doing
all this, just snatching kids out of homes because we're scared.
Of course we're scared. Scared of what might happen.
So then what are you?
Hi, my name is Seun Soyemi, and I play Nathan.
Okay, so kind of give us an overview of what this production is about.
Yeah, so it's about the lives of two social workers dealing with a very specific case of this little child, and they both have different ideas about how they should handle the case, and because of that, they're clashing. She does something one way, Penny, that's her name. She does things one way, and I do things one way, and we're just at odds the whole entire time because of that. We both believe that we're right, but I think we're both right and wrong. So that's kind of what it's about.
So I guess my general question to that would be, are you personally a skeptic or a believer? I know your character was a believer, but
yeah,
kind of
personally, I think that humans are very complicated, and they jump back and forth between being the believer and being the skeptic. And I think that is the ultimate answer to this question. Like, there is no right and wrong. You can't really control everything. And humans are complicated, so we jump back and forth between being that believer and the skeptic. Me personally, I believe that I jump back and forth too. Nathan, he's a believer. He just keeps fighting on and believing and believing and believing, and he might get himself in a little bit of trouble because of that.
I guess without telling too much of what the play is about, are there ways you can kind of explain how his belief kind of affect his decision making and kind of?
Yeah. Social workers, they have a lot of rules. They have a lot of guidelines that they have to follow. There are a lot of privacy things they need to do just to make sure that every case is handled properly. Nathan doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't think that it helps. And, he says a lot in the play, like, the system. He's one of those, black power kind of dudes who doesn't really care about the system and how they treat their people. He has his own personal way of handling these cases, and that is the main reason why he does the things the way he does them.
Nathan!
What family?
You are getting too close.
He's probably crying like a spigot right now, and next is gonna start throwing things.
And the Fosters can handle that.
Who did you put him with?
Now, for people who have seen this play, and for those who will be seeing it, it's a very powerful play. A lot of huge, high points and low points. Kind of tell me, how do you as an actor negotiate those on that flow of a production like this?
Oh man, we take this play home with us every single night. We really have to jump in and live the lives of these characters. We spend a lot of time talking to social workers, researching the conditions of the workplace, what they do before, what they do after, and we kind of prepare ourselves in the same way. When we get here, we basically go through the motions, and it really sets us up for a new day at the office, kind of like what the social workers would actually go through. We kind of put ourselves through that, and it's been very emotionally tolling, having to create this image of this little boy and his mom and all the other characters that we deal with and in the play and talk about, all the other clients. So it's a very interesting dynamic. You have to try and separate yourself as an actor, but if you don't put yourself all the way in it, then you're going to be doing it a disservice.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know you said that you mentioned that you also had to do research and follow some actual social workers. Kind of, what are some of the things that stood out as you watch social workers doing their thing?
Oh man, that they take these things home with them, man. Penny has this line where she says, this beast called social work, it'll eat your soul, or something like that. And that was very evident when we talked to these social workers. They talked about, burning out all the time and having to go to the office the next day. And there was also something that was mentioned where it's, the thing about being a social worker is it's about fulfillment versus joy. Like, do you actually feel fulfilled doing this job, or does it make you happy to know that you're helping another family? Like, what are you really battling with those two things, fulfillment versus joy? And that's something that's always living in my head when we do the play. Like, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this to help them? Am I doing this, to feel fulfilled? Or is it something that, just makes me happy to know? And, that's just something that we're always asking ourselves as we go through it.
Mm-hmm. Now, after talking with the social workers and spending time with them, when you approached this role, like, what was the thing you had to get right about this character?
Wow, there's a lot. I think the main thing for me was understanding how we both handle the cases and figuring out why my way of doing it is the right way. I really had to sink into that because I don't know anything about social work. And jumping into this play, I had to do a lot of research and figuring out, really digging deep and understanding why my way was the best way to handle these cases was really important for me. And really making sure that when people come see the show, especially social workers, they're like, man, that's it. That's exactly what I go through every single day. I say a lot that I do this because I want to be a mirror, to the people who come see the show. I want them to see the show and say, hey, I do that all the time, So I really try and give that same reflection.
Yeah, you did a great job. When you're playing a character with such emotion, how do you prepare yourself, I guess, before a show, which requires so much from you? Is there a certain kind of mood you set for yourself or a kind of state of mind you have to get yourself into?
I listen to a lot of music. I make a playlist that kind of represents the show, very similar to the music you hear in the show. A lot of hip hop, stuff that would get this character fired up. And I let that fuel me. I also do a hour-long warm-up before every single show for my voice. I think the thoughts of the character living through this play. I mean, we don't leave the stage a lot, so we have to live through it like it's just all one day. Going off stage, we stay into it. The people who work with us back there, they kind of step back a little bit because they know that we're in character. So we just keep that going throughout the whole entire show. We never stop.
So you say you do an hour-long ritual. What does that entail? Is that you back there doing push-ups, or are you smacking your face, stuff in the face?
Smacking my face, vocal warm-up, rapping these lyrics. I have this line where I say, "It's none of your business," Great Philosopher, Salt and Pepper. I listen to their whole entire album, and I just make sure that I'm using that to fuel me. Everybody's warm-up is different. Brittany, my stage mate, she has her own type of warm-up too that she does to prepare as well, and we both kind of pull from each other doing that.
Well, I think you guys did a great job. I saw several tears in the audience during certain portions of the play. But not only is it a very powerful, emotional play, but you guys have a lot of fun. You guys dancing and stuff like that. How was it? How were you guys able to develop that chemistry with your co-host, with your co-star?
Oh, man, I can't tell you. I think it's something that just happens. We talk a lot. We spend a lot of time outside of the show together, and we hang out. I just try to learn as much as I could about her and what her approach is, and she did the same for me, and I think that reflects on stage. And really just trying to figure out how these characters interact because they have a relationship in the play as well. So we really try to make sure that relationship is evident. And just being with her for, 4 weeks rehearsing, it just happens.
Well, job well done. We appreciate it. So if people want to find out more about this production and purchase tickets, how can they do so?
They can go on the website, auroratheatre.com, and check out the show at Ontario Was Here, and they have a link to buy tickets. You can also call the box office. I don't have the box office number memorized, but you can see it on the website. That's the best way to get tickets.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.